evening, folks. This is Maggie and Miguel of the Neostag Journal, and you're listening to our official Fresh Out the Theater review of Us.
Us.
Yeah. I will start by saying, because we just watched this movie very comfortably, this is probably one of the best horror movies I've seen in years. Certainly one of the best thrillers.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the horror genre, but
To say the least, she's not a fan.
To put it lightly, I don't like being scared of the movies. I'm not a big fan. But I mean, I really enjoyed this movie, even though there was some pretty fucking scary parts. But
yeah, it's kind of the point.
I know, but it just doesn't get.
For those of us who do love horror.
Well, some of those scenes were in the trailer, and it just doesn't get easier watching them. Like whenever they are first walking out, and you see the family like just in the driveway, just standing still, and then they just spread.
Yeah.
Like that does not get easier to watch it in the theater. It's actually like way worse.
Right. Okay, so for those who don't know, this is Jordan Peele's follow-up to
Get Out.
Get Out.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
not a follow-up to Get Out, just a second movie after Get Out.
Right. It's not exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a sequel. It has nothing to do with his first movie. It's interesting because he says this is his first horror movie. He didn't say that about Get Out.
He said Get Out was a documentary,
which is kind of crazy. I understand the context of him saying that, but yeah, he really does consider this his first horror movie. And yeah, man, does he knock it out of the park. I mean, he does really well with this.
For sure.
Yeah. For those who don't know what this movie is basically about, we don't want to give away too much, but basically we meet this family that is vacationing at a beach house, and they're on I think it's the Santa Cruz Pier.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And we're hanging out with them. They seem really authentic. They don't seem like caricatures of any kind. The family themselves are not cliches. They feel like real people that you and I would know in real life. You know, that's how well written these people are. Some of the side characters, we'll get into that later, they're a little bit cliche. They seem a little bit like caricatures of obnoxious best friends. But the main cast is not only written really well, but acted incredibly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have Lupita Nyong'o and you have Winston Duke, and just both of them together is just so much fun to watch. Winston Duke brings a lot of humor into this role. And even throughout the whole movie, he's the main comic relief, even like at some really pretty scary parts. He still brings a little bit of there's just like a little joke that he'll do and to kind of lighten up the mood a little bit.
It really humanizes things. You would think that having a comic relief in this type of horror film wouldn't work. But it really helps to ground the characters. It actually makes them seem more realistic, you know.
Yeah. Overall, they're both really good. And fun fact, they're classmates at the Yale School of Drama.
That has to be cool as hell, being able to, make a movie with people who are in your alma mater.
Well, that and they also worked in Black Panther together, too.
That's right, yeah.
So it's like coming on set, you're singing an old friend, too. So pretty cool.
Yeah, what's really awesome is that, you see Black Panther, and then you see this, and you cannot believe it's the same guy. He does such a brilliant job at both. I think he's going to be known going forward as such an amazing character actor. Duke is.
Yeah, for sure. He was really fun to watch. I know Lupita's getting a lot of attention for this role, but Winston Duke is really great in this role as well.
Yeah, they do. So are the kids. The kids that are casted. A lot of the time when it comes to horror movies, sometimes too often, the kids are sort of the weakest link. These kids are amazing in this movie. They do such an amazing job.
They're little badasses in this movie.
They turn out to be.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, going back to what this movie's about. So we meet this family. They're at their vacation home, and they meet these sort of the doppelgangers, or they're sort of evil doubles.
Well, yeah, they kind of forced them to meet each other. They just came around.
It is a forced meeting.
Oh, yeah, they just rummage right in that house, man. No prisoners.
That meeting, whenever the family first sees them, is done so brilliantly. The pacing in this movie, the build-up, he does tension really, really well.
He does tension really well. It does, like the build-up, like you were saying, and just his camera angles are so good. His use of camera angles, his use of music as well, all so good.
All that into consideration, I do understand why a lot of people at South by Southwest were comparing him to Alfred Hitchcock. At first, when I heard that, I was like, I don't think anybody should be compared to Alfred Hitchcock. After watching this movie, I understand some of the comparisons.
I think the comparisons are a little premature. I don't know why he has to be compared to Hitchcock. Why can't he just be Jordan Peele?
That's what he's gonna be. I mean, after you watch this movie, he is already his own thing.
Like I feel like Hitchcock had had a way of writing and directing movies, and I just, and Jordan Peele's is on his own path. Like
Yeah.
he's doing his thing.
He's on his own level that is light years away from
Yeah.
so many so-called horror filmmakers right now. He's also good for him. He's come a long way from Mad TV and Key and Peele.
Yeah, so I really think, people should just let Jordan Peele just stay in Jordan Peele's lane and let him just do him, and fuck all the comparisons. Like, can he just be him?
And he is. I mean,
Like,
people are going to be talking about this
yeah,
movie for years.
for sure.
So what we have here is it's an excellent original plot. It's different from most things we've seen.
Well, it's like, they have this family that's basically torturing them, stalking them as they're trying to get away. Like, how can you get away from somebody who thinks exactly like you?
They're you.
It's terrifying to think about.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised this hasn't been done before. That's how original this story is. From one extent to another, we're going to find something that's a lot like this.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anything like this that I can remember.
I mean, not in modern day that I can think of,
Yeah.
but it's definitely not in the same context of what Peele does.
Yeah.
So
So the story is incredibly original. The acting is awesome.
everybody brings their A game. There's a part when Lupita's double, she is so meticulous in the way that she just walks.
Yeah.
She does. That's the one thing that just stays in my head from that, is she's just so meticulous in every movement that she does.
And there's an explanation as to why she's doing that towards the end, which is awesome.
Yeah, but it's just so crazy just to watch it, because everything is in a straight line. She's very direct, and it's just it's so crazy to watch. It's so fucking scary.
There's so many nuances and there's so much foreshadowing that takes place in this movie that's done so well. In horror, there's always a lot of attempt at foreshadowing, and it really falls flat or cheesy. Like somebody will say a line, and you know what's happening next, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Here, you realize that after the shit hits the fan, you're like, I see what they did there. Love
Yeah,
it.
and the great thing about Jordan Peele movies too is that there's so many layers to them that you can watch it over and over and pick up on little nuances that you missed the first time. So it would be a lot of fun to watch this movie again. Even though I'll still be scared whenever I watch it.
You know what's coming, so you shouldn't be as scared.
Well, I don't think it makes it any easier. But yeah, I would definitely watch this. I would watch this several times so I can like figure out everything that I missed, because it's just, and like it's just like watching Get Out. You get all those different levels of what makes a movie so good.
Yeah.
And that is probably definitely the same that I would get from us. It is so many layers.
This movie has so many layers to it. There's so many little nuances that you think you've caught by the end of the third act. But I have a feeling, like you said, that if I watch it the second or third time, maybe then I'll pick up on everything.
Yeah, so crazy.
Yeah. When it comes to the bad of this movie, I think it really speaks to how damn good this movie actually turned out to be, because it's really, really hard to find anything that was notably bad about this movie. And I walked in trying to do that because there was so much hype for this movie after South by Southwest. It exploded over there. Everybody was talking about it. Mm-hmm. And so when I walked in, the bar was set really, really high.
For sure.
I had really high expectations because of how much it was blown up. And after that, I still wasn't disappointed.
Yeah.
I walked out incredibly satisfied.
Yeah. It definitely lived up to its hype that I've been seeing on South by Southwest. And as far as anything bad that goes, I think you really don't realize the bad until the end of the movie.
Yeah, towards the very, very end, I think there were some things that I thought could have been done differently. But this has more to do. We were thinking
about the trailer.
This. Yeah, the trailer gave away a couple things that they shouldn't have.
It gave away one scene that I just kept waiting for, because that was the part that scared me the most in the trailer. Was one of them, and I kept waiting for it and waiting for it and waiting for it, and then at the end, it was an integral part
of the twist,
which you really wouldn't think about watching the trailer. And so I was just like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I was like,
I felt the same way.
I wish that it wasn't a part of the trailer, so that way because I figured out the ending pretty quickly.
I did too. The very, very end, there is an interest. There's more than a few twists in this movie, but the one at the very, very end, we get in the trailer. We're not going to give that away, so that was frustrating. You see, but that's something superficial. Right now, we're complaining about how it was marketed. It's hard to find things that are particularly bad about the movie. The only thing that I can think of that comes to mind immediately when it comes to the bad has to do with their friends. I mentioned the main family not being sort of these caricatures or these walking cliches. Their friends kind of were. There were other characters in the movie who felt cliche, and the lines in their dialogue felt really kind of cheesy at times. You know, especially with Moss, who, don't get me wrong, as an actress, I love her.
Oh, Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah, they gave her some lines that were kind of cringy.
Ugh.
Yeah, and obnoxious. Like, what was it, vodka o'clock or some shit like that?
Can we not talk about it?
It was that bad.
Like,
they were really obnoxious as friends. We're not going to say what happens to them, but yeah, they were kind of obnoxious. They felt like
a little bit. But I mean, Elizabeth Moss that did have some really great.
She was amazing in this movie too.
She has some really great moments. Like, she's probably maybe on screen 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But fuck, those 10 minutes that she's in there, so good.
Yeah.
I think my only complaint as well would be you kind of find out the world that Jordan Peele has created. And without giving too much away, I just wanted to know more about that world.
Yeah.
And
you mean about by the very end of the movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
the explanation as to what their doubles are, we'll call them doubles for now. It's gonna feel really out there, maybe a little too out there for some people. I thought it was okay.
Well, I mean, a lot of people can say that about Get Out too, but like, fuck, like. That's why
Get Out
was
insane.
Get Out, like,
but I still cannot stop watching it every time it comes on.
I know, but I think Us is the same way. Like, you just think of these concepts that Peele comes up with, and you're just like, no fucking way. But I mean, he ingrains it in your head, and you're just like, fuck, that can happen.
That's what a good storyteller does. You know, that's all these great filmmakers. They sort of world build. They take these concepts that are just so out there, that are unbelievable, and they make you feel like this shit. Oh my god, this shit could happen.
Yeah, this shit makes sense.
Yeah,
like definitely.
Yeah, and again, the world building that he did here, just like he did in Get Out, was awesome. He takes it to another level, though, guys.
Yeah.
And in a way that you kind of can feel like, you know what? If there's a sequel to this movie, I completely understand. I'd watch the shit out of that too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'll watch the shit out of it because I'm so ready to find out more about that world that he created.
Yeah,
definitely.
This turns out to be.
Yes.
So overall, I definitely give this a strong A. Not an A plus.
Yeah.
It's not the perfect movie. It's hard to say what is.
Definitely an A.
But it's definitely a strong A for this movie.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. I think it's definitely something that you need to go to the movie theater to experience, like to be able to see it on the full screen. Like, go see it with a group of friends, you know? Yeah. So much fun.
This is true with most horror films. No, actually, no, only the good ones. But when it comes to going to a good horror movie, you want to go with as many as your friends as possible because you want to see the reactions. You want to see the reactions of people around you. This movie sort of embodies that.
Oh, you mean like my reactions?
Your reactions of you jumping, covering your face. Yeah, that was a lot of damn fun.
Listen, I don't go see a lot of horror movies, but I go to see the big ones like this one, It. Oh, that was so no. I still can't watch a couple of scenes from It, but I mean overall it was a good movie. But Us is
a very different type of movie. That's one of the things I can say about it is it's not the things that we're used to. There's not any cheap jump scares in this movie. There's not characters basically running around making mistakes in other horror films that we're going to be screaming at the screen.
Oh yeah, let me go to the basement by myself with
let me go up the stairs instead of out the front fucking door. Yeah. People in this movie that are the victims don't make those mistakes. I watched it feeling like I can't complain. They're doing shit that I would do in that situation. What the hell else could you do? Mm-hmm. That was one of the biggest things that I loved about it is that you're not mad at these characters.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, overall, I mean, it definitely was a strong A.
Yeah, strong A. We'll go see it again, definitely, just to see just what we missed the first time whenever we watched it, for sure. But really good movie overall. All right, everybody, this has been our official review of the movie Us. If you like our channel, please like and subscribe and ring the bell button so that way you can be notified of new content that comes out for our channel. And thanks for listening.